Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now, we are joined by Arwin, Neil, 10th Man Rising, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good morning, Flat Earth.
McKeegan part 2?
No, we're not going to do McKeegan part 2. I don't know if I spent ages editing the video all last night and this morning. And because it was such a long live stream, it was about 3.5 hours long plus the pre-show, so it's like over 4 hours of material that I had to wade through to put together in the most concise way I possibly could, and that took hours. It was probably the longest editing session I've ever done on a single video, because there was so much material to wade through and hack out and reorder and drop in various points again that I've cut out from earlier and things like that. So it was a fairly big undertaking to hack that 3 hours down to, I think I got it down to 25 minutes, which is pretty impressive. I think if anybody's edited a video, they'll agree that's good to get down 3.5 hours down to 25 minutes and still have all the relevant information in there. But that's already out. I think I published it to the members. If it's not, I'll change that after the live stream if it's not already. But if you're a member, that should already be available. Just the condensed and edited version. So it's still worth watching, even if you've seen the full live show yesterday. Because it just gives you all the concise points in a nice order with the points that we're addressing to him with his own words in between played when they're relevant. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So that's out for members. I'll release it at the weekend for everyone else on my on the main channel.
All right. So a couple of housekeeping questions, and we go for today's, right?
What do we do today then?
Today we're going to be covering a slightly different video, and by slightly I mean totally, which is by Wired. So theoretical physicist Greene explains time in 5 levels of difficulty. That's what we're going to be covering today. In the meantime, any scientific evidence of gravity?
That's what they want us to think exists, and that it's a force, mass attract mass, which changed to bending of 4D space. But we've never observed it, but they say we're observing it when something falls to the ground, except when something doesn't and rises in the medium of air. So what is it exactly they're trying to tell us here?
It's the antecedent to galactic formation.
Quick shout out to Retro Bill. He says, looking forward to a great show. Shout out to Brian, Chocolate, and refracted curvature. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, a couple of people said to me one person said to me in the comment section, oh, it's really rude to be taking the piss out of his speech impediment. No. Typically, I stay on topic, but when someone like Dave McKeegan takes the opportunity to say Nathan can't convert meters into kilometers. Oh, really? So just you taking the piss, eh, Dave? Triangles, McKeegan. Yeah, people in glass houses, mate. You want to take the piss out of me? I'll take the piss out of your speech impediment permanently. Triangles, McKeegan. Bet you wish you hadn't noted that meters into kilometers taking the piss out of me. Because, yeah, people in glass houses. Now everybody's going to be taking the piss out of you. Yeah, like they all take the piss out of me for my misspeak over kilometers. But your speech impediment, that's going to be permanent. I'm going to be permanently taking the piss out of you for it, Dave. You sound like a spastic. You talk like a spastic. You are a spastic. And every single one of my commenters is going to be noting how you sound like a spastic. Yeah? Take the piss out of me, I'll take the piss out of you. No problem.
And he answers like a spastic too. I mean, What was he? What was the entire point of what he was doing yesterday? There was no point. It was crazy.
There was a point, Arwin. The point was to tell us how triangle measurements, trig, and celestial navigation, all which require flat baselines, do not, I repeat, do not work on a globe. Dave Triangles McKeegan was very keen to illustrate to his audience how what is on screen now does not work on a globe. That's what the point of his video was. And he did a very good job of detailing how these triangles on screen now require 90 degrees, as per Dave Keegan, and a flat baseline, as per Dave McKeegan's video. So he did a good job of illustrating how Earth is flat, did a good job of explaining how it won't work on a curved baseline because you're using triangles and they don't curve. So that's what he achieved, Darwin.
Yeah, he
But
reaffirmed our
why?
point.
Why would you do that?
Because he's absolutely fundamentally retarded and thought he was doing a good job defending the globe by explaining how you need a flat baseline and 90. He thought he was clever. It's the best example of Dunning-Kruger I have ever come across.
He actually said 90 when everybody's telling him not to say 90. Thank
Yes.
you, Dave.
Yeah, he wasn't listening to the people around him who have been paying attention and keeping up to date with the flat earth debate, who appreciate that when you describe 90 degrees in terms of trig or triangulation, you can't do that on a globe. You haven't got a 90. But there he is, bold as brass, talking about 90 and detailing it with examples on flat tables. Good job, Dave. Nice rebuttal. Well done for proving a flat earth again. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Well, if you're looking at the phenomena in the sky, a sparkling star, and then you invent a telescope throughout the years and say, oh, I get a closer look at it. Well, fine. What does that prove if that's all you're getting is just a phenomena of a star sparkling and you get a better view of it? What have they done? They've now gone into black holes and event horizons and Big Bang. They're tying it to everything. And all you've done is had a closer zoom in look at something in the sky. And then they say, because of that, we know Earth is a ball. How in the world do you get that?
They don't. Okay, should we kick off with this?
Sure.
So, like always, I don't know, 10th has watched this video, I have not. So we're going in pretty much blind. Is there a particular timestamp you want us to start at, 10th?
You're going to do from beginning to end. This is similar to the one series you did with the witch on gravity. You can label this whatever you want, but it's the same concept, except it's time and not gravity. Starts off with a child, young child, all the way to the very mature professor.
Greene, and today I have been challenged to explain a topic in 5 levels of difficulty. We're going to be talking about the nature of time, the most familiar and the most mysterious quality of the physical universe. There is nothing that we experience that does not take place in some duration of time. So if you can understand time, you're on your way to understanding reality.
It's a concept, though.
Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Kayla.
How old are you, Kayla?
I am 9 years old.
So if you're 9 years old, what does that mean about the Earth? How many times has it gone around the sun?
9 times.
Never. We don't move around the sun. So immediately into begging the question with this child about a heliocentric religion that you're a part of. Why are you brainwashing this child with your heliocentric religion? I don't like this at all. You're indoctrinating children with heliocentrism straight off the bat. You're 9? How many times have we been around the sun then? None. We don't move around the sun. That's part of a heliocentric worldview. It's a model. It's not reality. You've started off by telling us that if we understand time, we'll understand reality, and then you've gone immediately to us moving around the sun in Kepler's orbital motion. No, we're not. That's just your religious belief that you're indoctrinating this small child with.
Times.
9 times.
Never. 0. None.
So there's a relationship between motion through space.
There is no motion through space. Space is a sky vacuum. The orbital motions described by Kepler, assuming orbital motion in a sky vacuum, is bunk. The space you're talking about is a sky vacuum. We've debunked it. There are no orbital motions. It's a begging the question fallacy. You're just indoctrinating a child with your religious belief.
The Earth is going through space.
No, it isn't. That's a sky vacuum. If we were flying through space, we'd have no gas to breathe because all of the gas would expand at high velocity in all directions, all vectors, to fill the availability of space you say Earth's moving through. Definitely not.
And the passage of time. They're kind of connected
They're not connected. One's not real. The other's a concept.
Yeah.
in some way. But there are differences, right? If I asked you to move through space,
You'd be dead because you wouldn't have any gas to breathe. And we'd all be dead because we haven't got any containment around a sphere, Earth in an orbital motion, according to Kepler, when he assumes Earth is a sphere in an orbital motion. In your religious view, you're indoctrinating this child with. We don't move through space, we'd all be dead.
you could do it freely, right? Can you get up? And let's see how easy it is to move through space. Can you move over to that location? And can you come back? Anything getting in your way? Easy to do?
Yep.
If I were to ask you to sit perfectly still in space, can you do?
So this is going to be an equivocation. It's just like Earth moving through space, and the space she moved through was very different to the space that the Earth was moving through. So now you've cemented in this child's mind that space, in a heliocentric orbital worldview, is the same as the space in a three-dimensional Euclidean sense that she's just moved through. They're not the same. This is a trick.
Well, this guy will get you boiling immediately.
He's indoctrinating children with his religious belief in a sphere Earth in an orbital motion. So yeah, he's going to get me pissed off pretty quickly.
Do that? I mean, hold perfectly still.
Hey, chocolate.
That's good. But if I ask you to hold still in time, to not go to the next second or the next second, can you do that?
No.
So there's definitely this difference between space and time, some fundamental quality that distinguishes how freely we can move through space versus how freely we can move through time. Have you heard?
We don't move through time. You're reifying this convention for how she describes the elapse of time versus her moving through time. On screen now, I can already see where he's going with this. He's going to Albert Einstein. So what he's going to describe is her moving through a geodesic, a dimension, invented by Einstein, as though that was somehow how she moved through time when she moved through space. Euclidean, three space, length, breadth, and depth. Not Einsteinian fourth-dimensional time, which is a dimension. She didn't move through that. You can't move through that. That's a reification fallacy. So you're a scumbag, physicist Brian Greene. I doubt you're a physicist at all, especially as you've got this strapline of theoretical behind it. So you're a fraud, as far as I'm concerned. A fraud who indoctrinates children with his religious belief in orbits.
Heard of Albert Einstein?
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard of him too. He debunked him, as has quantum mechanics. So you're going to indoctrinate this child with an out-of-date notion of a space-time that isn't real.
What do you know about him?
He has crazy hair.
He does have crazy hair, and I think I may be heading in that direction, actually. He showed us an approach to travel to the future. You want me to tell you?
Did he? He showed us the DeLorean and the flux capacitor and how we could travel through time, did he? Because that's what you've just told this young child. Lying shit. Don't let this man near children, because he'll just lie to them and deceive them and indoctrinate them with his religious belief. It's disgusting.
Tell you how you do it? You build a spaceship.
Is she looking like she's about to build a spaceship and go out to a second law of thermodynamics violation? You're telling a child that in order to do what you're suggesting she does, she needs to build a spaceship. Does she look capable of building a spaceship? No, she doesn't. So this is just brainwashing, because you're suggesting in order to realise the thing you're describing from Einstein, in order to do it, she needs to build a fucking spaceship.
Go out into space really quickly.
We'd all be dead. I already debunked this. If we went out to space full stop, if it was real, we'd have no gas to breathe because all of the gas could also go into that area of volume. It's called entropy. Have you heard of that, Professor Greene? Have you heard of entropy? Because if she was in a spaceship moving in an orbit, all of the gas would sod off and we'd all be dead. So why are you telling her about this second law of thermodynamics violation? Aren't you a professor? Aren't you a physicist? Shouldn't you know about the second law of thermodynamics sky vacuum violation? No, you're going to tell her about moving in it in a spaceship that she's made, right?
You turn around and you come back to planet Earth. And
No, she doesn't. She's never going out in a spaceship and all the gas would vacate the Earth if that was the case.
He showed us that when you're on that
He didn't show us jack. He came up with some maths. He didn't show us anything. He hasn't shown us a fourth dimensional reified space. He hasn't shown us Euclidean turning into fourth dimensional pseudo-Ramonian. He didn't show anything at all, ever. That's because he's not a scientist.
ship, your clock will tick off time more slowly.
Bollocks. A clock is a mechanical device. It's a piece of technology. If a piece of technology is ticking slowly, it's faulty. Because it's supposed to be comparing itself to the elapse of time based on the celestial movements where we have derived this concept from. But you're going to take the technology and reify it into the time itself, the convention? No, you're working outside of the convention. Again, to indoctrinate a child.
You will age more slowly.
No, she won't. You're lying to her. She will never age
Nathan.
more slowly. This is a total disgusting lie.
Nathan, 15 degrees an hour of the sun moving, does that slow down or speed up?
No.
Oh,
That gives us
you
the
got a
convention.
problem then.
That merely gives us the convention. But it doesn't mean that you can change or work outside of the convention to go on to describe time slowing down or her aging more slowly. It's complete lies.
I'm sorry. Is this another version like that, like with the gravity, the like 5 levels talking
Yes.
to kids, and but now we're doing it with time?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
So that journey may only take you, say, a year, 6 months out and 6 months back, but you know.
So again, equivocation. Yeah, so you've given her a qualification within the convention, and you're telling her that her aging process will work outside of the convention. Bullshitter. Disgusting.
You know what? When you step out of the ship, it'll
When's she going to do that? After she's fucking built it? Yeah, this ain't happening. You're taking her to imagination land to indoctrinate her. You scumbag. You disgust me. Theoretical physicist Brian Greene. You're a disgrace.
it'll be 100 years into the future,
When she gets out of spaceship that she made? No, it will not.
or 1,000 years.
No, it won't. She's not going to live for 1,000 years. She's not going to build a spaceship. She's not going to go out into second law of thermodynamics violation, sky vacuum. She's not going to age slower.
1,000,000 years into the future.
Nope, she's never going to experience that.
Would you do that if you could?
She can't! You scumbag old sod. Indoctrinating this poor child.
I would probably be dead by then.
No, you'd be alive. That's
Lying bastard. You've just told her she'll be alive in 1,000 years. Outright blatant lie. Scumbag indoctrinating a child with lies. Is she going to be alive in 1,000 years? No!
the amazing
Notice
thing.
how she said, "I won't be alive." She knows the truth.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He's being like the serpent to Adam. Like, you'll live 1,000 years. Like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, serpent.
this scumbag's offering a child eternal life now based on his religion. What a wanker.
I'd be dead. Everybody else would be dead who stayed on Earth. But
So if you made this spaceship that you're never going to be physically capable of, you can live forever. Isn't it amazing? Lying scumbag.
your body would only age 1 year.
No, it wouldn't. The aging process, the entropy that she experiences is just entropy. The same entropy that debunks this notion because the sky would be a vacuum and availability of volume for the gas we all breathe to fill. So this is all nonsense, and all I need to refer to is the second law of thermodynamics to prove every word he has said wrong.
And
But
yet it
Nathan,
would
if
be
you go to space, you can live forever.
That's what he's told her.
Don't you want the fountain of youth? It's in space.
That's what he's telling her. He's telling this small child she can live forever. 1,000 years into the future, everyone else will be dead. If you build a spaceship and you believe in heliocentrism and orbits, you'll still be alive. That's what he's just told her. Total scum.
1,000 years into the future. The question, though, is could you get back? And I don't know the answer to that. Nobody does.
Would we still be breathing here if the sky was a vacuum? Would we have any gas? Would the gas come back? Physicist Brian Greene. What about the gas? It's expanding in all directions in a high velocity, and if we're uncontained in a sky vacuum, what about the gas? Is that going to come back? No, everybody would be dead. Nobody would be breathing.
We don't know if you can travel back,
You can't travel there, it's not real.
but we certainly know that you can travel forward.
Has anyone ever tried to go forward and back?
I don't think so.
But you've just told her she can. So even by your own example, you don't think this is possible when she asks if anybody's done the thing you've just specifically told her she can do. Your answer is, I don't think so. Why on unholy hell are you telling her it then?
Wait,
That same
didn't they go to the moon?
No, but it's all logical. I mean, if she do that, she could live forever, but he's basing that on that nobody's ever done that before, to be certain.
Yeah, he's working outside of the convention in a theoretical, imaginary world that he's told her to build a spaceship and go to, in her mind. And the world that she's going to is an orbital-based sky vacuum, where she'll live forever. I mean, this is the worst type of brainwashing you could possibly describe or example. Yeah, it's perfectly tolerable in the Western world to just brainwash kids with fantasies and lies about sky vacuums. Disgraceful.
Guy with the crazy hair, Albert Einstein, showed that there's actually
Didn't show anything.
a limit to how fast things can go. And
Nope, debunked by quantum mechanics. You aware of quantum mechanics? Physicist Brian Greene? Because this whole two-way speed of light bullshit that Einstein came up with is debunked. It's been completely eradicated. It no longer serves any purpose beyond your heliocentric indoctrination because it's been debunked by quantum mechanics, something that has brought forth technology that has advanced humanity. Unlike Einstein's bent space-time that does nothing but serve the purpose of indoctrinating children.
you know what the limit is? The
There isn't one. There is no two-way speed of light. It's been debunked.
limit is the speed of light, because light travels 671 million miles per hour.
No, it doesn't. Not according to quantum mechanics.
That is fast enough to go
I'd
around
like
the
to see the
entire.
measurement for that.
Yeah, can we see the measurement of the single one-way speed of light? Can we get that, please?
Now, he's probably going to give you a calculation based on a presupposition with the celestial body. That's how they do it, right?
With an R value that we've debunked? Yes, Arwin, that's exactly what he'll be doing.